I'm Rosalind Nieves. Welcome to QPTV's book review. I'm going to take you to One Police Plaza to meet Zachary Tumin. He is a Deputy Commissioner of Strategic Initiatives for the New York City Police Department. He co-wrote a book with Police Commissioner William Bratton called Collaborate or Perish: Reaching Across Boundaries in a Networked World. He has an extensive background with over 30 years of experience in information technology, strategic management, public policy, and of course, collaboration. Commissioner, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. Commissioner,
let's talk a little bit about your background. Tell us some of the positions you've held in your lifetime, because I was very impressed.
Well, thank you. I've had the opportunity to work with some great leaders in government, in industry, at the university, and I started my work in the public service in the city of Boston in the 1970s with Kevin White when he was in his second term of mayor there. I've worked here in New York for Elizabeth Holtzman, who is District Attorney of Brooklyn. I've served with two schools chancellors, Joe Fernandez and Ray Cortines. I worked for the New York State Organized Crime Task Force for a couple of years. And of course, I've been involved at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government off and on for most of my career, serving both in government and then going back to teaching and to research and then back to government and so on.
So, Commissioner, tell us what led to the collaboration of this book with Police Commissioner Bratton?
I've known Commissioner Bratton for many years. We were both in Boston at the time. He was a lieutenant in the Boston Police Department. I was working in the office of the mayor. We were working on problems of community policing in Boston. I've stayed in touch with the commissioner over the years in a variety of roles. Some years back, I had invited him to join us for a session with some of the nation's great leaders on issues of collaboration up at Harvard that I was running. And over lunch, I went up to Bill and I said, why don't we write the book on this? You've seen it from the world of practice. I've seen it from now spending a number of years teaching, teaching and working with the great leaders of collaboration around the world. We could put a book together that I think could help anyone learn what to do and how to do it. And he said, that sounds great.
And people love templates, you know, giving them sort of like a guideline to go by. It makes it so much easier. Am I right?
Well, it shows what's possible and then gives them the pathway forward, and that's what we've tried to do in the book.
In the book, Collaborate or Perish, you state we live in a digital world, a networked world, where the race is on to out-collaborate, out-network, out-innovate adversaries, competitors, and even nature. Can you expand on this? What is meant by this statement?
Sure. In the network world, where we're all connected, we have the opportunity to do good things with it and bring people together, bring great products to the marketplace, bring services that are greatly needed to communities, help our military in combat, and deal with some of the great tragedies and disasters of the world that may befall us, whether it's Hurricane Sandy or tsunamis in Japan. The race is on to collaborate and to make all those connections turn into something people can use, turn into action, and turn into results. It's great to be connected, but if you can't make it happen on the ground, then you have a nice to have. But in our world today, just as social media here at the New York Police Department, this is not a nice to have, this is a must have. It's something that everyone needs to be connected and to take action together, and that's what it's about.
Well, this leads to my next question. You also asked the reader, are you ready to collaborate? And you go on to explain that it's not only about you, it's about people, technology, platform, and politics. How did you come to that assessment?
If you take a look at successful collaborations, you notice that there are 8 or 9 factors that have to be in place for that collaboration to be successful. You have to have a vision of what's possible, that around which many people can rally and can buy in. You have to have a plan so you know what to do next. You can't always see the end of the map when you start the journey, but you have to be able to have an idea of the journey and take a next step. You have to have the right people around. People make all the difference in the world. They're talented, they're powerful, they're authorized. Whatever you need on your team, you have to make it pay. The collaboration is nice, but at the end of the day, everyone will ask, "What's in it for me?" And you have to have an answer for that. What makes collaboration pay? And there are many ways in which it can pay. You have to understand what drives people to take action together. And each of these, and you have to have a platform where people can find each other. You have to be able to manage the politics of your group and have good governance around it. So each of these is a critical factor. And in the book, we talk about ways in which you can make sure that you're ready, that your platforms, your people, your politics, your plan are good to go. We give you several tests that people can use to see whether this really makes sense, and then to begin to take steps together.
And in your book, you list that there are 8 tests of readiness. What are they?
Well, I don't want to go through them all here, but I can tell you, for example, that you have to have a plan that's right-sized, right? So right-sizing a plan means making it something people can take action on together. It's big enough to make a difference, but it's small enough that they can understand what they can do and what they need to do next. You need to take a look at your political support. Your political support is what gives you resources, or what gives you money if you need it, what gives you power and authority. But the test is, are you staying within your political headlamps? You can't outrace them. You'll be in the dark. You'll run off the road. So there are a number of tests like this that we use to test all the factors that need to be in place for you to be successful, whether it's a start, or to continue, or to succeed at the end.
Now, is being connected a silver bullet? Does it answer the question for everything? Can it answer the question that we have about preventing war and using technology for things
being connected
of that
is no
nature?
silver bullet. Technology is not a silver bullet, even having the right people or having the right platforms. It takes work. It's hard work. At the end of the day, people have to want to work together, and in the book we show how you can make that possible, how you can take the friction out of collaboration, take next steps together. But whether you start with a huge vision and come down to something very right-sized for tomorrow, or whether you decide that really the best move is a big move now with all barrels blazing, as it were. The key is doing the hard work that's required to get buy-in, get support, and in the book we show you ways you can make that easy on yourself.
Well, that leads me actually to the next question. Give us a little overview. Tell us a little bit about the Red Balloon Competition.
Well, so the Red Balloon Competition is a story that we tell in the book about and it illustrates, I think, the power of the connected world to make a difference very fast. One of our defense agencies, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is our big R&D arm for the Department of Defense, several years ago wanted to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the founding of the Internet. And to do that, they set out a contest. And the contest would involve 10 red weather balloons that would be launched somewhere in the United States. And without telling anyone where or any information other than that there were 10 somewhere in the United States, the contest offered $40,000 to the first person or group who could correctly identify all 10. And most people think, well, this would take days to do, but in the age of the Internet, it went much faster than that. Now, at the end of the day, on the day of the launch, which was in a cold December day a couple of years ago, the MIT team won, and the Georgia Tech team came in second. You didn't expect that because very talented men and women running the show, and big computers, and great students, lots of resources. But what was interesting was that there was a young guy named George Hotz, who for the first hours of this competition was leading. Now, Hotz was famous around the world as a hacker. He had provided the first hacks of the iPhone, Sony PlayStation. It was very popular, and with the hacking community, not so popular with Sony or Apple. But in the days before the contest, he told his followers to stand by. There's a treasure hunt that DARPA was sponsoring, and on the day of the contest, he tweeted his 40,000 followers to go to his website. He'd opened a website called dudeitsaballoon.com, and he said, so any and all of you who can see a balloon anywhere, tweet me, email me, tell me the location. And in the first hours of the contest, his troops were around the world, truly incented to help George Hotz. After all, he had helped them all with his work. Was leading. They found a large number of the balloons, and eventually MIT and Georgia Tech surged and prevailed. Hotz came in third. It was a close third. The contest was over in 9 hours. Somewhere around the United States, 10 red weather balloons had been found in 9 hours. DARPA was convinced that they could never have done this by traditional means. And this showed for DARPA the power of the internet, and it showed us the power of one person using the internet to really make a tremendous difference. And I think we see that all the time now. We see it on Twitter, we see it on Facebook, we see it in a variety of social media. So this book is about some of that power and how you can marshal it for yourself.
I would like for you to share one more example that you have in the book, and it's something that everyone can relate to, and it's how President Obama used technology and collaboration methods to become president in 2008. That was interesting.
You know, political campaigns have been the champions of new technology all the time. They're very high stakes contests. The money flows heavily. And the Obama 2008 and then again 2012 campaigns reinvented campaigning in significant ways, in ways that were able to attract millions of followers who otherwise might have been left on the sidelines, not mobilized to vote, not made passionate about the change that was possible. And the Obama campaign was extraordinary in its use of social media and other, but always in service to the age-old goals of campaigning, which was to knock on doors, get out the vote, and raise money. And they just were able to take those classic goals and accelerate them in the digital world. And the results were astounding and convincing beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I think they probably blazed the trail to digital marketing as we know it today in ways that probably accelerated that by a decade.
Now I'd like you to talk a little bit about Police Commissioner Bratton, because he co-wrote the book with you. Give us his strategy and how he was able to reduce crime using CompStat methods.
Well, when Commissioner Bratton first arrived here in New York in the mid-90s, there's no real awareness of the facts of crime. The reporting was slow, wasn't very detailed, pretty clunky. So there was no transparency to crime in a way that lets people manage it. Now, any good manager knows that you need to be able to see your numbers in order to manage your numbers. So CompStat was that first effort. It was the effort of beginning to have more and better, faster, and cheaper quantifying of crime in New York. How many of these were those and when they happened? In a way that let cops now respond and put cops on the dots. I think that's how Commissioner Bratton phrased it, put cops on the dots. And today we've seen the legacy of that throughout the world. It's probably one of the one of the fastest accelerators and change in public service ever. This notion that you can quantify and then move to address the problems that are yours that are your mission. What we have to do now is take CompStat to the next wave, the next generation. Like any tool, it's best used within the context of an overall strategy. And the strategy now is a strategy of collaboration, collaborative policing, where we use both time-honored crime-fighting methods, but now with the great support of communities, we hope, and we're striving hard to earn that, because collaborating with communities, whether in Queens or Brooklyn, Bronx, or New York, is essential for everyone's success. And I think you'll find in the years to come that the Bratton years at NYPD will be marked by a strong focus on crime fighting and a strong focus on collaboration. Both have to go hand in hand to succeed.
To have the ultimate goal of crime reduction.
The ultimate goal are safe cities, safe streets. That means not just a reduction in crime, but a reduction in fear, in the sense that order has returned to communities so that kids can walk to school safely, families can sit in parks safely, merchants can count on commerce, and the Commerce District is vital and alive. Those are the final measures of our success.
Now that leads me to my next question. Is the NYPD's social media outreach initiative an example of collaboration or perish?
Our social media outreach is very much an example of wanting to engage, soften the boundaries between cops and citizens. It's not the only thing. It's one way that we are going to do that. You'll see us also with new training, new patrol strategies, new engagement strategies. Social media enables that in ways that it's very important. But as with all measures, it's no silver bullet. It takes hard work, and everyone needs to rally around. But the first step is to make it available, and so we are doing that with all of our police commands here in New York.
Now, you said earlier that social media is a must-have tool for law enforcement. Can you expand on that?
Social media is a must-have tool for law enforcement because, for two reasons. One, it helps us to engage and to gain insight and work with the priorities and issues of communities at a very local level. Just as the Obama campaign was able to localize their appeal and the measures that they would be supportive of. Social media lets us understand at a very local level what the issues and concerns are of citizens of New York and all the neighborhoods of New York and every precinct. They're not the same. And policing has always been successful when it's textured those responses, and it's been able to provide precision solutions. Social media lets us create those precision solutions faster, better, and cheaper, by which I mean the precision solutions of dealing with the issues and concerns of a particular community, a block, a house, an apartment building. We can learn those better by having, by engaging everyone who lives there. And so in that respect, social media is essential as a police tool in the coming years.
Now, would you just expand on this a little bit? Now, if someone sees a serious crime, you're going to still want them to dial 911 first. But do you also, if they have time and in a safe environment, do you want them also to tweet about the crime?
That's the call. Make the call. If there's a crime in progress, that's what we count on that. 311 is a great call to make for other problem conditions that you may find. And we've just started a collaboration with ASPCA on protecting animals here in New York. And what we're saying is, if you see an instance of abuse to call 911 if you suspect evidence of abuse or neglect, but it's not ongoing, it's not immediate, and it's not happening at the moment. Call 311. It's that mix that's helpful. Well, there's a third mix as well, and that's social media. You can find us on Twitter, on Facebook. There are many other ways. So we want to be wherever New Yorkers are, whatever channel they're using. We want to be there, and we want to welcome their information in there and share their concerns on all those channels as well.
Well, I think that this will break down a lot of barriers and have more interactions between the community and the police. So it will improve community policing. Do you agree?
I do agree. It will break down barriers. It will take time. There's a lot of work to do here. So far, the response has been terrific. We're gratified, and we're going to continue to roll out social media to all of our precincts and all of our public housing commands and our transit commands, and that's as it should be.
So, can you give us your Twitter information, please?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Zach Tumin. That's the ampersand sign is Zach Tumin, ZACHTUMIN. You can find NYPD on Twitter at NYPD News is their Twitter account. And each of the precincts will have their own, 25 now have their precinct Twitter accounts. Soon it'll be 45. And that's usually at NYPD, then the number, and then PCT. So if it's the 112th precinct, it's at NYPD 112 PCT.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Tumin, for joining me here today.
It's my great pleasure. Thank you for taking the time.
That's it for today's show. If you missed any part of this program, just go to www.qptv.org to view the entire show. Thank you for watching. I'm Rosalind Nieves.
My brother was one of the 343 that was killed on 9/11. He had just gotten into the fire department. He was 23 years old. And as a way to remember him, my parents, they decided that it would be best to honor him in a scholarship because before he became a firefighter, he was becoming a teacher, history teacher. And he worked at the school I work at, IS-10, as a substitute, and then he got called into the fire department. So this is kind of the way of honoring him through the students.
My husband and I, 13 years ago, started our scholarship dinner dance. And we decided that, you know, we couldn't change the fact that Christopher had died on 9/11, but we could change the way we reacted, and we wanted people to remember him in a joyous, happy way. So the scholarship was founded because of that, and we wanted people to remember 9/11 and remember the victims each year, and so we have this dinner dance.
We're over $60,000 this year. It's probably closer to $70,000 at this time that we've raised, and we give this back to the kids, and everything that we take in all goes back to the kids. Nobody in the organization takes a salary. So it's all for the children. It's all about education.
I have my own time to deal with the loss of my brother in my own way.
My son was he was a history buff, an American history buff, and he probably knew more American history than anybody I've ever met. But we made the essay history-oriented. So every year it is a topic on, history or current events that would have pleased Christopher and given him a definite opinion on which way, to react.
Kids today who win the scholarship, they were not alive when 9/11 happened. For like the youngest children who are, I think they're 5th grade or 6th grade, they were probably like babies, So for them, it's new, like to learn about it, and it just kind of keeps the whole 9/11, what happened on that day, that it's part of history now. It keeps it alive for the newer generations.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Conti, and I received the scholarship fund from the Santoro Scholarship Fund. Truly honored to be receiving the award. Just helps so much towards achieving what I want to achieve in life. To be receiving an award from a hero, it's truly a blessing. Someone who puts their life on the line. It's inspiring. It's something I want to do when I get older, and just truly honored to be receiving the award.
And I'm so thankful for being here right now. It's truly an honor to have received this award, and I cannot wait for what's coming in the future.
My hope is to use the money I won with the scholarship to pursue a degree in marine biology from Stony Brook University. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Alan Maureen Santora and the rest of the Santora family for honoring me this very special gift, and I hope everyone has a great time tonight.